Welcome back, everyone. It is Saturday, June 21st in the MLB. Our three favorite picks are on the way, including a long shot parlay, which we'll touch on at the end of the video. As always, it is Austin, joined by Logan. Recapping yesterday, 1-2 day. One of the two losers was our strikeout sheet, and both of the two losers came from Hunter Brown. He could not get us another strikeout and couldn't get us 6 innings pitched. He didn't look good at all last night. But Logan, what did look good? Little Brewers and Twins over 7.5. You would have never thought it with a perfect game going in the sixth or seventh inning, but the Brewers poured it on. What was the final score? 17-6 or something like that. It was like an NFL score. Great call. We need more of those winners today. And it starts with hopefully cashing both of our plays. I need to lock in. I've been serving just terrible plays recently, but Logan's been on a little bit of a heater the last week. He's got a hits allowed prop. So let him lead things off. Logan, where are we headed?
Yeah, for the hits allowed prop, I'm going to go ahead and take Griffin Canning of the Mets under 5.5 hits allowed. -1. Oh, hopefully my voice does not get out. -130 odds on DraftKings is your best value there. Now, this is a hits allowed prop. We've had success with hits allowed props, especially the last righty I took against the Phillies hits allowed prop. It cashed. This is a 5.5 line. I say it every time I take it. I will only take a hits allowed line under 5.5. Five's a key number. It's sort of when these pitchers either it's make or break for them a lot of times. He's under this line in 4 of his last 5 starts. So the hit rate is there for Griffin Canning. And even in a terrible start against the Rays, I watched a good bit of his start against the Rays. He was throwing just terrible stuff. It was outside the zone or it was right down the middle. Things you can't do as a pitcher. He still stayed under his 5.5 hits allowed line. He went 4 1/3 innings pitched, 6 earned runs, 5 walks. Now you might say, Logan, terrible start. Like, what are we doing here? In 3 of his last 5 starts, Canning has allowed 4+ walks. He's 17th percentile on walk percentage. Guys, we're taking a hits allowed prop. We're not taking a walk prop. Griffin Canning, the way he pitches is he nibbles a lot on the corners. He's definitely one of those pitchers that relies on deception and he relies on trying to, just kind of work edge to edge. But when those pitches are not located, those are turning into walks, which is fine because it runs up his pitch count, gets him out quicker, limits the exposure of these hitters getting hits off of him, which is ultimately what we're doing today. He's also really struggling to get strikeouts consistently that he got earlier this season. And that's just one of the contributing factors to why he's walking guys. Now on the road, Canning, 2.51 ERA compared to a 4.95 ERA at home. He's actually been a solid road pitcher for the most part of the season. With men on too, Canning's only allowing a 216 batting average. Something I have to check when taking a hits allowed prop is I have to see how they do with men on. If they suck with men on, there's just no way I can take them, because if they're pitching out of the stretch, those are how the hits just really pile up on these pitchers. But Canning's been good out of the stretch for the most part this season. One thing that he does also excel at, and why I really like this matchup today, is he's good at ground ball percentage. He's 84th percentile in ground ball percentage, which again, against the Phillies is something you have to have. You cannot let these hitters you cannot let them elevate on you, especially with hitter-friendly conditions, now almost entering July in Citizens Bank. That is a terrible place for pitchers. Phillies 4th highest ground out to air out ratio versus right-handed pitching this season. So what does that mean? It means they're grounding out a lot. The 3 teams ahead of them too are not good teams. If you just want to kind of look at where the list shakes out, Nationals, A's, and Marlins are the 3 teams with higher ground out to air out ratios. Good teams are able to elevate the ball. Good teams are able to get, hard hit extra base hits that leave the infield. The Phillies, what they do struggle is they struggle against the ground ball type pitchers and really grounding into double plays. The Phillies have grounded into the 9th most double plays versus right-handed pitching. That's not averaged out. That's just total ground or double plays. Look, as a Phillies fan, I know there's a lot of suspect hitters in there that with men on, they can't help it. They just got to roll over to shortstop and then just a quick little turns. I've seen it enough. And I know Griffin Canning has at least a few double plays, lined up in his arsenal today for us. The Mets have lost 7 straight games and are priced at only plus 100. I've seen it even the line's ticking a little bit more towards the Mets' favor, which again, does that make a whole lot of sense considering this team's lost 7 straight and the Phillies just put up 10 yesterday? The line doesn't really make sense. But with the lack of offensive production, they cannot afford to leave Griffin Canning out there to get hit around. It's just they simply can't do it. If Canning doesn't have it today, I still see them being able to go to the bullpen, even though they used it yesterday. The staff has to know that Canning, third time through the order, is bad vibes. 317 batting average allowed third time through. If you leave him out there and he gets hit around, that's on the Mets staff for just mismanaging him. That's why his outs line is 15.5. That's where they put pitchers like Griffin Canning. I think that the exposure will be limited today, and I think he goes under his hits allowed. Love that as my favorite prop of the day. But Austin got a first 5 pick. Where are you going?
Yeah, Logan, I love the pick. Griffin Canning, go lock in. Or just walk 7 guys. We really don't care. Just don't give a bunch of hits. We'll take it. Now, when we were doing the pre-show, doing our editing and overlays, our editing software completely crashed. And might actually be the difference for what I need to cash a pick, because I've been ice cold the last few days. And so you're just getting this traditional banner on the screen. And hopefully this one hits. My favorite play of the day. That would be Red Sox and Giants under 4.5 in the first 5 at -105 on DraftKings, a 1-unit play. Normally we have the overlays like Canning, but for some reason the editing software just completely went kaput. And so hopefully maybe this is the difference. If this cashes, I might go to just banners the rest of the season. I'll do anything to get ourselves some winners. But I really like the pitching matchup today in this game. I would take the full game under at 8, but I have had no luck in bullpens. I get like the best bullpen arm possible. No, they suck, and they just can't do it. So I'll rather just go first 5. These for Landon Rupp and Brian Bayo can pitch well. Get out of that first 5 with a winner, and then I don't have to sweat out the rest of the game. Let's talk about Brian Bayo, who will start for the Red Sox. He's been pretty good this season. And what I really like is how good he has been with runners in scoring position. 130 batting average with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, 200 in general. It's got to have it. Got to have that final out. He's been getting it, and that's what you need to see. He's coming off a great game, 7-inning shutout innings versus the Yankees. Now, the Yankees have been ice cold against righties. So he went out there and dominated, and hopefully he can continue that momentum. He's been good on the road. His 3 road starts this year, 3, 2, and 1 earned run. So again, good stuff. We can afford, a 3 earned run start. We don't want it, but if he can just not give up 4 or 5 to just nuke it himself, give us a chance. I think he can do that. And what I really like is Bayo, 88th percentile ground ball percentage. Logan was just talking about Griffin Canning. He's 84th. Well, Bayo's a little better than that, 88th percentile. And we've seen in June versus righties at home, Giants just batting 216, 4th lowest. They also own the 4th highest ground ball percentage as well during that time. So again, I look at Brian Bayo. He can go out there and pitch decently. Then we go to Landon Rupp, who is pitched pretty well, coming off a bad start, but we've seen him pitch really well at home in Oracle Park. You look at him at home, 2.25 ERA, a 1.28 whip. The weather favorable for us, -29% home runs. And just like Brian Bayo, you see a guy like Landon Rupp, elite at getting the ground balls. This season, we've seen him 93rd percentile on hard hit percentage, 71st in ground ball percentage, and just giving up a 125 batting average with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. In June, the Red Sox are just batting 205 versus righties, which is 29th. And this is a guy that I think can go out there. We don't need him to get the Ks, but he can if you need it to. And I think he can go out there and pitch well. Yesterday, there were 10 runs in the first 5 innings. It started with an error, which I like the Nerfy yesterday. Of course, it loses on an error, which is just comical. But that started. Then you have home runs from the 8 and 9 hitters for the Red Sox. Like the Red Sox are counting on their 8, 9 hitters to give them all their runs in production. I don't see that being sustainable. Raphael is batting like 150 on the season, or David Hamilton's batting 150. Raphael is like 220. So again, counting on those guys to consistently give you production is not going to work. And in a very pitcher-friendly ballpark, I think both these guys can go out there and do their jobs. Just as I talked about with the Giants, they're 4th highest in ground ball percentage in June against righties, while Boston ranked 2nd. So again, these are 2 teams, heavy ground balls, and these are 2 guys that are great at limiting the hard contact. So it's going to come down to, can these offenses put the ball where the defense isn't? And they haven't really been doing that in the month of June. We've seen over the last 2 weeks with runners in scoring position, Boston just batting 236, which is 19th. San Francisco, 194 at 27th. I just see a lower scoring game through 5 innings here. So I really like the Red Sox and Giants under 4.5 for the first 5, -105 on DraftKings. I think is a great bet. You could go full game if you want to include the bullpens, which are good. I know they've been good, which just gives me pause because I just haven't had any luck there. So that is my second play of the day. And our third play, it's not going to be a strikeout sheet. It's actually going to be a long shot parlay. I'll bring in Logan and we'll tag team this parlay in the 2 legs. Logan, I'll let you lead things off with the 2 money lines we got in here. You can talk about the D-backs and Dodgers while we like them.
Yeah, I mean, let's start off with the Diamondbacks. I mean, they're 21 games better than the Rockies record-wise. The Rockies bullpen is just a liability. I don't care how good Palmquist might pitch, but again, he's got very suspect lines. Diamondbacks should be able to see him well. Merrill Kelly, hold it down for us. Then the second leg is going to be Dodgers on the money line. Look, Dustin May versus Jake Irvin. Jake Irvin, a pitcher that just hasn't really been able to put it together for the full season. The Dodgers are a very, very deadly lineup. I think they get to Jake Irvin. I think Carrot Top, Dustin May holds it down. I love the Dodgers to once again get a win. I don't know if they cover Austin, but again, we just want them to win outright.
Yeah, we don't care if they cover or not. Again, I should have mentioned this is just a quarter unit on this plus 371 parlay. Like I said, the graphics are just cooked today, so we'll just maybe this could be the difference, Logan. It could be the difference. The graphics cooked. Yeah, I like D-backs and Dodgers. Woods Richardson. We know he's facing a Brewers team though. I mean, they went up and had a ton of hits yesterday. Woods Richardson only 2 starts this season without giving up 4 hits. I think his regular line's 5.5. We think he at least gives up 4. And then we liked Jose Barrios to go out there and pitch well. He's coming off a 6 earned run start out in Citizens Bank Park. Didn't have it, but now we'll face a White Sox team, which is skeptical offense. Sometimes they play well, sometimes they don't. Yesterday they had a bunch of runs. Barrios coming in here. I think he pitches well here. Doesn't give up 3. So plus 371 on this little parlay. Again, just tracking it as a quarter unit. Hopefully we can cash that one. So to recap our picks, Logan, we have the Griffin Canning under and hits allowed. We have that my Red Sox and Giants first 5 under. We have the quarter unit, a little long shot parlay plus 371. See if we can cash that. And we'll also have a ladder challenge, which Logan cooked us up a winner for day 1. Great work. We need another winner for day 2, and we'll have that posted later on today. Once it is live, I'll link it somewhere on the screen, probably over Logan's face. Hopefully we can have another good day. I should have mentioned at the top of the show, no MLB video on Sunday. We're both pretty busy in the morning, and NBA Finals is on, so we'll let those videos kind of cook. Those videos will be live later on tonight. So no MLB picks tomorrow. Hopefully we can have a good day today, carry that into a new week on Monday. Either way, Austin, Logan, we're signing out. We'll see you guys back on Monday for our MLB people. And I'll see you guys in the normal NBA video posted later tonight. See you then. Peace.